Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. We're at my actual kitchen table here today for a Crucible War market update while they continue to work on my basement. You might hear them jackhammering below my feet. Hope you guys have a great day. We're going to talk about Crucible War. We're going to do a market update. If you're interested in having access to all this data and in a way to track your collection, head on over to head on over to KitchenTableTCG.com or Patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG, where you can get access to a collection tracker. You get access to Discord server games. You get $5. It costs $5. You get $5 off of one of your Armory events, so it pays for itself if you're going to play in events. You also get access to the collection tracker. It's a great thing. I think it's a great deal. Head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to do this work and to do this all full time. So let's hop into Crucible War. This week we can't show you all this stuff because I don't have my actual computer. I'm on a MacBook Pro right now. Anyway, we got sealed boxes in at around $800. You've got them selling anywhere between $775 and $825 on eBay this week. So I'll float that at $800. You can see we had a strong rise all the way up to about $1,200, and then they trickled back down. We've been pretty flatlined, and this is going to be the conversation we have here for the next couple minutes. We've been flatlined here for a long time, and the other cards are starting to flatline as well. Meanwhile, with Unlimited, you're starting to see that supply is just not there. TCG Player right now is at $105. The supply is just not there. We are expecting a restock next week or the week after from distributors. You can currently get boxes and Channel Fireball for cheaper, but the rest of the market is kind of at this $105 price point. So talking about the Fable, the Arc Knight Shard, not really any sales that I've seen for the Shard on the cold foil first edition side. Unlimited is floating still at like the $234 range. There's one that sold for $300 this week, but currently you can pick one up on the market for $234 on TCG Player. So not really too much action going on there. Let's take a look at first edition, see if is it worth it to open an $800 box of Crucible War first edition. Legendaries this week, a Chyenne. This was a 9.0 Chyenne sold yesterday or this morning. I can't remember exactly what it was, for $3,000. Now, previously this card last week hit a sale of $1,900, but that was down. That was down 30%. You could see if you take a look here, this is where the price was. We were sitting at around $2,700, and then we had that one weird sale of $1,900, and that dipped the price down. But now a Chyenne that sold as a 9. A lot of people consider 9 to be a similar quality as a raw. So I went ahead and discounted it 10%ish and put it at $2,800 based on the $3,000. I guess it's a little bit less than 10%, but around $3,000 for that 9.0 that sold today. Meanwhile, the Tunic just being a little soft. I mean, keep in mind, like there's now like 80 different versions of the Tunic, and they can print the Tunic again in first edition. I never thought that the Crunic was going to be like the card to have, and it's a non-foil Crunic. So keep that in mind. It's a little soft this week at $170. No sales of the 20 Blade Extended. This is one that I honestly thought was going to do more based upon the fact that it was not reprinted in Monarch in Crucible Unlimited. I thought that this was going to see some increase, but apparently $1,200 is the market price. We haven't really seen much happen with it since then. The card is incredibly hard to find, but all right, let's move on to the Majestic cold foils. All right, this is where I'm starting to say like flatlining is starting to happen. We're starting to see a few things. Bloodsheath Skeleton, I think it was a PSA 10 sold this week. So it's hard to. So I dropped a little bit of value from that. It's hard to know like the ratio, right? Like what does a PSA 10 sell for, and then what is a raw card? We just don't have enough data. So I think a PSA 10 sold for $1,000. So $775 might be technically high, but what it does tell me is that some higher end money is coming back into Crucible of War if people are willing to spend $1,000 on a Bloodsheath Skeleton. Perch Grappler's going up a little bit. I wonder if that has something to do with Lexi and just people starting to say, hey, Ranger's coming back. Gambler's Gloves dropping some value. Visiortronic Mono Eye dropping some value. Not a whole lot of movement on the rest of the cards, though. Actually, there was another, I think it was a Metacarpus node that actually sold for the same price this week. But that being said, you're starting to see this again, right? Like we had a huge increase and then we downturned, and then we're starting to just flatline around this prices before this huge increase happened. So That's where we are for the Majestic cold foils. Your average is sitting around $431. Looking at the regular cold foil rares, we're down really nothing. I guess technically we're down a little bit because there's a little downwards arrow there. But most of the stuff is just flopping in price. Plasma Barrel Shot's going up while Sledge of Van Valheim's going down. Everything seems to be averaging in, 150 is technically the average. But if you notice, these more expensive cards are the ones that are going up, are going down. And the more cheaper cards are the ones that are going up. So it seems like we might be averaging out in this like $135, $140 range in the next couple weeks. And that is on par again with like, we're starting to flatline. We're starting to not see much downwards turn. We're starting to just kind of see these flat places at this kind of price point. Before this was the day that the print run announcement was announced. So that we had a huge market reaction to that. And now we're having a market unreaction. I guess it's still a market reaction to that as well, to like just Monarch and summer and whatever. It'll be interesting to see what happens when people get back from summer trips, when people get back from planning for the calling and for Vegas and for all those things. Looking at the Majestic rainbow foils, no surprise honestly that these are starting to be a little soft. This week is at $38. You can see there again, the flatline thing is here. We had an increase and we went down, we flatlined. We had an increase, we've gone down, and now we're flatlined. So in my opinion, based on the trends, we are primed for an increased run on some of these cards here pretty soon. But what you're also seeing is that Crucible Unlimited came out, and now these cards that were all being played, all the players who had first edition cards can say, oh, if I can get the cards cheaper, I don't care about collecting, and then they do that. So there's definitely some of that happening. Like Gorganian Tome is probably a great example of that, going down to 120. That's probably the all-time low. No, 85 is the low. But there's just some interactions there with some of the stuff with Unlimited. Spoils of War really holding its value as a collector piece too. Twinning Blade, all these kind of iconic cards from the set are gonna probably hold a premium for first edition for a long time, in my opinion. Snag, Twinning Blade, Spoils of War. The Tome is an interesting one. I don't know, it just doesn't see maybe enough play, but it is short printed too. So. Anyway, you can see the average Majestic is sitting at $38.37, and that's kind of where we are. Looking at the regular Majestics then, the only cards to kind of go up are Aetherize and Beast Within. These are probably more affected by Unlimited print run than anything, as a result of people who do want to spend a premium on having the first edition bling are probably willing to spend the premium on having the first edition foil bling. That's my theory on this. So, Courage of Bladehold being a little soft this week, going down. I guess it's a lot soft, going down 20% to $96. The rest of the cards, the expensive cards, not really moving too much. But then a lot of downwards turn on some of the lower value cards like Absorption Dome, Feign Death, Fine Center, even Visiertronic, not super played. So you can see Courage of Bladehold, we're still kind of bouncing at a downwards trend to these kind of prices that we were at a couple of months ago. Looking at the rainbow foil rares, a little soft. It's not really that big of a deal. Down to 932, down 3%. You're seeing some of these rainbow foil heroes be just a little soft. Springboard Somersault now is Unlimited, so there's a lot of things happening. But then some of the heroes like Cavdane, Benji, KO, still holding their value. One or two selling, and then the next price goes up. Keep in mind on the rares and the commons, I just use TCG low. Marvin Skies Red going up. You're seeing a lot of interaction here with some of the cards. But meanwhile, Promise of Plenty, Crane Dance, all the lower value stuff just not able to hold up because it's just not as desirable and people don't want to use it to bling out their decks. So Marvin Skies Blue for the regular rares, still holding the most valuable rare slot in the set, with Chyenne going the way that Chyenne is going. But you can see the increases have kind of steadied out, and now we're at kind of just like a baseline, again, just flat. Everything's flat right now, guys. It's just kind of the way that it is. Looking at the rare, what is this? Common rainbow foil. Sorry. Research notes going up, Hathing Helix going up. You've got the Cracked Bauble going down. Again, I'm not sure how much you can gain from the first edition stuff with the meta, because I think for most people they're buying the unlimited versions. But this week you're down 3% to 275 for your average rainbow foil common. And then your regular commons do have some value, but I don't think you should include them in the EV. So here's where we are. The true EV does include the commons. Don't do that. You'd be sitting at $846. Realistically, you're sitting more like this 767. And you can see where things are coming in here. A lot of the value is in the Majestics. A ton of the value is in these Majestic regular cards. And that also paints, the cold foil Majestics, lots of value. If you hit a cold foil Majestic, chances are you're going to make your money back on an $800 box, just based on the way the numbers shake out. If you hit a rare, though, probably not quite as much. No Fable, you're sitting at 707. And then if you take out the Legendary, which is probably what you should do, honestly, because Legendaries are one every 10 boxes, you'd be sitting at $601. So probably not worth it to open up a first edition box of Crucible of War, but you probably already knew that. So let's take a look at the unlimited. Oh, by the way, if you want to utilize this data and throw it into whatever EV you want, if you go to ev.kitchenttabletcg.com, this is free. It's not part of the Patreon. It allows you to pick and choose what you want to be included in the estimated value. So it's a cool way to say, hey, I only want to sell cards that are worth $5 or more, and it will tell you what the value of with the cards are there. Well, the EV of the cards that are only $5 or more is. So let's take a look at unlimited here. The Legendaries, pretty soft. Chyenne going down. Tunic going down. Tunic at 135 still seems ridiculous to me. We're getting close to the regular unlimited Tunic that isn't foil. That seems crazy to me. I know that WTR is way heavier printed right now than Crew. I would not buy a $135 non-foil Tunic. I honestly think that's a $75 card. So just throwing that out there. Chyenne 130. I don't know what to say about that. Looking at the Rainbow Foil Majestics, we are looking at Curved Blade Hold is going up. So you can see like where the first edition is going down, the Unlimited is going up. It's because players are driving the market right now. Unified Decree going up, Plasma Purifier going up, Crater Fist going up. A lot of these cards that are seeing significant play in the Road to Nationals and all those things are starting to move. Interesting to see Snag down 20% here. I know maybe it's not being as effective against Chyenne as people thought it would be, but maybe down 20%. Maybe it's just that boxes are being open. I don't know. The supply seems low to me. So I don't know why the averages aren't popping up here, but I did pull them up here. So your average is sitting at, for the Rainbow Foil, your average for the Rainbow Foil is sitting at $15.90. As we look forward, the regular Majestics, again, these didn't pop up either. Your regular Majestics, the average is sitting at $11.85. So not, only down, or actually up 2% for the regular Majestics. People need the cards, man. People need the cards. Poison the Tips going up, Feign Death going up. A lot of people maybe specking on some. Don't spec on Ranger cards with unlimited Crew that is underprinted right now. We're gonna see a lot more unlimited Crew come out before Toa. Hopefully, I would think so. I would think we have another major wave of Crew Unlimited before Toa. So. Toa, sorry, it's called Ellie, Tales of Aria. All right, Gaze the Ages, Rimblade Barrier, Plasma Purifier, all kind of going up. Courage of Blade Hold, a little soft. You're seeing some price things that are a little weird with these. Like they're just kind of, because the supply is so limited, the price is like, they're pretty even on the Rainbow Foil and non-foil. Snag going down, Crater Fist. Anyway, your average, what did I just say? Your average is at $11.85. Looking at the Rainbow Foil Rares, you get like $2 of average cost here. That's losing some significant value though, down 8%, and we haven't seen a massive print of this yet. So be careful if you're buying these, to bling out your deck and you don't care about the value. That's fine, but just be careful about all this stuff. You're going to see a lot of downwards pressure on these Rainbow Foil Rares. I think if you look at the Rainbow Foil Rares from WTR and ARC, there's just not much value in them. So sitting at an average of 215 seems like a lot to me. Looking at the regular rares, again, you're seeing Marvin Skies is kind of the only one that you really want to hit. Maybe High Speed Impact as people are picking up that dash deck, but really the value is not in these unlimited rares. Your average is at 50 cents. And then your rainbow foil commons, you got some value at $1.42. This is what's going to be interesting, is to see if these all hold value right here. All these common rainbow foils, we haven't seen them in first edition, so I don't know what the values are going to do on them. My gut says they'll be like the equipment from WTR and ARC, and they'll land at the $4 or $5 price, and that's going to add a lot of value to your unlimited boxes. If you get $4 or $5 per box in a common, that can really add some stuff up. So keep that in mind, that the foil weapons are worth some money, and that does add to this significantly to this value. The regular commons don't really matter though. So if you look at one box of this, again, don't include the commons, but if you do include the rainbow foil commons, you're sitting at like $150, which is honestly, like, this is the issue, is this Majestic regular pricing. The Majestic people just need the cards, and there's not enough yet to keep that price down. So $150 on average is definitely worth it to open a box. If you take out even if you take out the Fable, you take out the Legendary, you're still sitting at $136. There's not that much value in the Legendaries. It's almost like you almost rather, if you watch some of my box openings this week, you almost rather hit some really good Majestics, like the Twinning Blade, like the Spoils of War. You almost rather hit those because they'll probably be easier to sell too. So anyway, your average is about 136. And that seems to be where we are. So if you're looking for a way to track your collection, if you want to support the channel and content like this, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. If you're just looking for a way to utilize to see what's in a box, is it worth it to open my box, head to ev.kitchenttabletcg.com. You can use that tool. You can say, hey, I want every card that's a Majestic or a Legendary included. Hey, if you want to see what the values of just the common foils, you can do that. It's pretty cool. Go use that tool. Go enjoy it. Hope you guys have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. And if you want to support the channel, you know where the Patreon's at. And the rest of you guys, I hope that you just have yourself a good one. And thanks for watching the videos. We hit 4,000 subs, everyone. That's incredible. That's awesome. Super exciting and encouraging. So hope you guys have a great day. One more time, remember to be kind to the people around you.